Hey fuckers, it's me again. Sorry for the trouble with the audio in the beginning. I don't know why that happened. As I mentioned in chat, it was working perfectly fine before stream, and then immediately, as soon as I start stream up, it's like, and then kills itself. So that's annoying. Anyway, let's get this started, because I kid you not, as soon as I got home about an hour ago, there was a child screaming for, I want to say, about 20 minutes straight when I got home. Like, it was insane. Like 20 straight minutes of just horrid shrieking that I could hear through all of my walls. It felt like it was coming from every direction at once, you know? And maybe it's not a good thing that, like, I hear a child screaming and I don't, like, go check on it, but, like, for fuck's sake, man, this is every day. It's really bad. Anyway, here, ladies, stop punching each other. Welcome to another exciting episode of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reread. I'm solo today again. I didn't have the energy to find a guest, or the guest that I had in mind was not interested in joining. So just by myself today. But we're going to have fun no matter what, because today it's time to view what happens when you give an 8-year-old a paramilitary organization, which, I mean, awesome, right? Pretty good. We're going to be doing MSQ today, so let's swap on over and get that shit started, shall we? Oh, I should also, one moment. What would be a funny button to hit for this? I don't know. There we go. How did music relate? Great question, Bees. I'm glad you asked. The music related because the game it's from is called Bravely Default, and we are going to be encountering a group known as the Crystal Braves in this story chapter, I think. If we don't, then I'm going to look real fucking stupid, but I'm fairly certain. I'm like 60% sure. Anyway. As we can see, Thancred is still drunkenly chatting up Minfilia's mom, which, by the way, fun fact about Flamine, which I find super funny. As I recall, we were bringing up a couple of times that Flamine does not look particularly old, and that's because she's not. She's like 30. She just pretends to be old for clout. Like, she is very young. She's basically Thancred's age, which is really funny. Anyway. Classic old for clout. Anyway, let's talk to her daughter and figure out what's what. The Great Divide. Minfilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldessian. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Brianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such a time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns aetheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mogglemog the 12th, long may he reign. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing aetheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Also, hold on, I forgot to tweet out that I'm live. One moment. There we go. For all 12 people that follow me on Twitter. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Escilla, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Uldar this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilla, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Ruja, I shall be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Don't ask me why. I honestly could not tell you. I am well aware that our resources are finite, but we have a responsibility to protect the people of Eorzea. I love protecting the people of Eorzea and eating nutty bars. Not sponsored. Alright. Now that I don't have food in my mouth anymore, I can truly unmute. I got a couple of draggle-tailed refugees here. Ho there, sir! I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done.
Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation.
Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Uldar for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but I can even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run, the only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So surely you do the same for us.
Oh, man. I really don't know how to feel about this particular plot point. I'm not a smart enough person to rule on it one way or the other. It's a sucky political position, that's for sure. But this is the beginning of the Final Fantasy XIV tradition of telling the Alamegans to go fuck themselves while we help the Domans. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be solved later. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Domans' petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've got nowhere else to go! You're turning your back on us! If I might have a word... Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Uldar, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear that it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone.
That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got.
My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding the riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions.
How can you be so blind?
Find Alphinaud, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalimo will see to it. Well, Papalimo will see to it. Ida will be there. Alphinaud is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Ruja. The Hourglass, well-known medical institution. Just pouring a ton of alcohol onto his wounds. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Don't believe what they say. I know these people. They would only take up arms to defend themselves. If there was a riot, I swear to you they didn't start it.
Alright. Well, off we go. I gotta go to the Adventurers Guild. We didn't start the fire, it's true. We just watched the Uldans burn. Because it was funny. Oh, he looks fine. I don't know what everybody was so worried about. Hi, you're not dead.
You must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ulda, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ulda is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Uldan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Uldan way of thinking, they may as well not exist.
And no shirts. Or shoes, which means no service.
Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry.
Ulda Sucks, the video game.
Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's cool. Desperate times. Alphinaud wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. As I've told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Raubon has to say on the matter. Pip pip, cheerio. That wasn't really that funny. Well, nice and sunny day out here in Ul'dah. It's blazing hot outside, just like it is in the real world. Good times. Is it hot where you guys are? It's hot where I am. Not as hot as it could be, luckily, but still pretty miserable to get into my car every day after work after it's been sitting in the sun for 8 hours. Now is not a good time, Rusha. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. There are too many degrees. It's true. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphinaud, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Turgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled, and I trust you managed to Ronald Reagan control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. I suppose I'll have to cancel my TED Talk. My point, General, is that this powder cake of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. What the fuck was up with that? Why won't he listen to me, the 8-year-old? The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside sources, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Ruja. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. And of course, by that I mean you will conduct your own investigation. I have tea time at the Sultana's in 5 minutes. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I've no doubt you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? I have tea to drink. Very helpful, thank you, Alphinaud. You look as though you have something to say, Aruja, do you? And then I ask the question, what you ask for is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. May be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the blades posted there. Ah, I see, we're, If you mean to investigate Lost Hope before my comrades arrive, you had best do it quickly. Forces will be dispatched to the region as soon as the situation allows. I see that we've decided to trust the brass blades for information. Excellent. I'm sure that will go swimmingly. In case you have forgotten, Lost Hope is this little area right over here that sucks. This is where the refugees who, like, literally have nowhere else to go are sent. So, makes sense that there would be maybe a little bit of discontent over here. And what brings you here, adventurer? Search for refugees? Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awful opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Whoa, no, what was that? Sorry?
A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest to what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything.
Hey, here's an area we haven't gotten a chance to explore too much of. Tell them the first pinch is on you, understood? Hey buddy, how you doing?
Blood! So much blood!
I'm sure that's nothing.
Ah! Don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! Wait, I know your face. Are you not the woman from the Church of Saint Adama Ladama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I'll take it you've agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic's spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now, he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words, beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that the merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. The man said naught of his surviving comrade's whereabouts, naught I could understand at least. Mayhap you will be able to extract some sense from him. I wish you good fortune.
Hey, man.
What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? It's not fair. You should be here to soothe me. Why didn't you listen to me?
Alright, here you go, buddy. Have this incredibly subdued Vieira emote.
Who are you? What do you want? And why was that emote so subdued? It's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. Thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh God, it's the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was.
Everything is going great. Shock and awe. The terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms.
The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. Holy shit, the Play Ghost Trick Challenge is almost at 0.5%. I know, you guys are really making progress. I'm so proud of you. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get it filled by the 30th, which is when Ghost Trick Remastered comes out, so missed opportunity there. But you know what? I'll keep it up for as long as I feel like it. And if nothing else, I can always just give you all of your shit back at the very end if I decide that it's not worth it to keep doing this anymore. The pox and all bloody sellswords. They're supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality... That's it! Challenge the twins to combat, and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Hurt the twins if you must, but pray do your utmost to not harm the others. Okay, sure. Now, here's the thing, buddy. What makes you think that I would be able to fight off these people? I mean, I am, but, like, what gave you that impression? Like, I look like a wet blanket. A threadbare wet blanket. I do not look threatening. What good is a bit if we don't commit? True.
Damn it, hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Ha! Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves.
Alright. Well, this will end well for you guys, I'm sure.
We can take her! Help me, damn it!
Oh shit, these guys have Featherfoot. And footwork. You can't stop us, you won't stop us! Huff puff, huff puff. Die. Do your worst! Alright. Ho, a challenge! It's been too long! Oh no, it's Agni and Rudra! Had to walk to the grocery store both ways? How far away is the grocery store from you?
Meddlesome wretch!
No! No! Careful, if you don't kill them quickly, then they'll revive the other one. About 15 minutes? Yeah, that's definitely not a fun walk to make, that's for sure. Especially in this heat.
You beat him like it was nothing. Thal Almighty, what are we gonna do now?
Is he just gonna say the same line again?
We yield, all right, we yield. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So go away and leave us be.
Okay. Bye. Wow. Conflict resolution is easy. You gotta beat the shit out of people until they stop. Oh yeah, busy intersections. Cars were a mistake. Like, genuinely. Or highways were a mistake, at the very least.
You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened?
I see. Well, you had no choice. Better than a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? There was no merchant there.
Huh? But where else would he be?
Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? Reap the whirlwind! The terrified refugee would have you find the shady figure who is trying to stir dissent among his brethren. The
The merchant wished to approach the refugees in stone's throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Bye. Okay. Stone's throw is... Oh, yeah, it's literally... Right, it's the one that's a stone's throw from Ul'dah. That feels like not a good place to do what you're doing. Because, like, it's really close to the city. And that... I don't know. Also, everybody make sure you wish a happy birthday to voice actress Xanthune, because it's her birthday today. And she's cool. Hello, child! Have you seen a merchant? Are you the merchant? Cease your evil, merchant, lest I kill you! Have you seen my parents? How the fuck would I have seen your parents? I literally just met you. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for a merchant. I'm looking for someone stirring up trouble. This feels way too forward for Ruja, so I'm looking for a merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Oh, was your birthday yesterday? Happy birthday! Congratulations. You've survived another rotation around the Earth. You did a good job. Wait, look over there. I think that's him. Well now, which one of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Maybe I shouldn't be saying that shit out loud. Oh, fuck! A rabbit! You! Bye! He's getting away! Go get him, miss! Kill his ass! Decepticons, kill this clown! Actually, kid, you have anything else to say? The man who left my parents ran off that way. You can't let him get away. You're not, what way? Can you please point in the direction that he ran, child? No? Great. Because I was not paying attention. Thank God I have the power of the Echo to lead my path to victory. Damn, my man did not run very far at all into another populated area. Hey, dude. You know, it makes it much harder to hide when you have, like, a big ol' thingy over your head. You again? Why are you pursuing me? I don't know, why are you running? Sedition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. I would never do something like that. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Oh, yeah? For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kikern's ass about politics. It was business, only business. We both know I am not the one you want,
However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything.
Damn, that was a good shot. You see that shit? Heal him! I've got healing spells!
What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. You got it, sir. Hold, adventurer. I would have no more of your relationship with the victim as well as the events leading up to his death. We don't know. You could have stabbed him point-blank range with an arrow.
Go fuck yourself.
The man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one we seek. Your arms look too flimsy to carry a bow. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion.
Oh, so you know who I am?
If that arrow was shot from where you indicated, the archer must have a good eye and better aim.
Yeah, it would have been right up there.
Let's go investigate over there and see if we can find any clues.
Nope.
Shit. Damn it. Shit damn.
I gotta go inside. There we go. Well, unfortunately, that does not help our investigation at all. In fact, it kind of kills it. Just like that merchant. I still think we could have healed him. Unfortunately, this game does not assume that you play healer. It's like, why the fuck would you play healer? You could have an axe, or like cast cool fire spells. Or have a pointy stick. Or be a ninja. Hi. What news, Ruja? Where is the merchant?
Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell! He was not simply murdered, Ruja. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Revolution. Swift has a message for you from General Rauban. The Flame General has left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bart. The Sultana will be in attendance as well. Pray do not keep her grace waiting. She has to go back to preschool in a few minutes. You know, I don't think I ever actually... I'm not sure I ever actually knew. What does Spoony mean in the context of you Spoony Bard? Like, what does that mean? Sorry, just communicating with somebody really quick. Nanama was like 25 or something, but she's tiny. She's short. Short people can't be old. All short people are children. She's 21, you mean she's 2. She's like 1. She's like 1 or 2, I assume is what you meant by that. Excellent work, Ruja. The information you brought helped me to persuade General Rauban to call this meeting. Mayhap now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. Are you calling me minor-coded? I don't know, do you take a pickaxe to your job and pull coal out of the shafts? If so, that makes you a miner.
We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. I hope this part is voiced so I don't have to do anything. Although I'm pretty sure it's not.
Commander Swift has kept us
Hell yeah,
apprised
let's
of
fucking
these
go. I'm muting my
activities.
mic, baby.
We've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
Also, on the topic of the minor coded thing, I was reminded recently of, I don't know if this is something that you guys would have been aware of necessarily, but a while ago, I don't remember exactly how long ago necessarily, there was a pair of cosplayers who were dressed up as characters from the fuck is it? From One Punch Man, specifically Fubuki and Tatsumaki, I think is her name, maybe. It's the two psychic characters or whatever, and one of the cosplayers is like a petite woman. You know, she's short and she has. Oh man, how the fuck do I word this without sounding like a horrible person? She's a petite woman. That's the best way I can put it. And people were like crazy people in the Twitter mentions were like, you are a horrible person for dressing your child up in this like sexy costume. That's horrible. You're a pedophile for doing that. And the person who was cosplaying the petite woman who was cosplaying this smaller character was like, I am a full-grown woman. Like, I'm 21 or plus years of age. Like, I did this of my own volition. And the person who thought they were a child replies to her and says, sweetie, I know that your parents said this was okay. Like, talking to her like she was a child, refusing to admit that they were wrong. Anyway, the moral of the story is that all short people are children, and anybody who says otherwise can shut the fuck up and die. That's a joke.
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters.
Yes, that is true. However, in the real world, it's a little bit more fucked up. Also, it turns out, guess what? Protesters weren't in the wrong. It was the cops the whole time. The more you know.
It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
Oh man, it was the brass blades too? That's crazy!
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill?
No, was it just made up for this scene specifically? Yes, but shut the fuck up about that.
It is a proposal to annex the Alphinaud Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
A battlefield where players may fight against other players. I don't know exactly what that word means, but that was what Merlewib told me to call them. Rouge, have you ever done PvP?
Bahamut was greatest at the Alphinaud Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
This is the funniest thing that they could have possibly done here. Just like, yeah, no, man, just feel free to fucking kill each other in this region as much as you want. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. Like, we're just not going to do anything about it. Like, you guys can just go over there and have your little Hunger Games shit over in the corner. We're just going to ignore it. It's cool. We'll send all of our bloodthirstiest criminals to work there. But whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Alphinaud Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
That son of a bitch. Why would you ever build an orphanage?
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
I just want to reiterate, by the way, that Alliance forces are, I don't know if necessarily killing each other, but they are, like, brutally beating the shit out of each other in this place all the fucking time. Like, with no repercussion. I'm just pointing that out. Orphanages lead to things like FF8. Classic.
He walks a path all his own.
We got triple triad from that,
Independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
Yeah, because we know the Syndicate is filled with great people.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Alphinaud Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger.
It's actually smaller.
It has yet to be fully excavated.
The Mirage, the Platinum Mirage is what you're thinking of. Yeah, see, it's a casino that nobody is allowed into because we're not rich enough, despite the fact that we are the Warrior of fucking Light. The Pugilists Guild, I believe, primarily works as bodyguards and guards for that place.
Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Alphinaud Flats.
We met her.
Given the ends
Briefly.
to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, Destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
Actually, Nail Van Darnus goes by she, her. Happy Pride, everybody.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
I'll say it a third time. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
We should never use fan translations. Those are notoriously unreliable.
Having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides. Which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That has such a, like, Spider-Man, like Sam Raimi Spider-Man line of, like,
You and me could rule this city, Spider-Man!
like, just this city. Nothing more than that. Like, I know he moves on to say, like, Ul'dah and, like, the rest of Eorzea, but, like,
He could rule at least one city-state with the power of Omega. Incredible!
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
why am I even here, by the
There is
way?
no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
You're stimming? Congratulations, I'm proud of you. How are you stimming? Please tell the class.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Once again, why was I here? I didn't do shit. Vocally, some clapping, mostly wobbling. Hell yeah! I fucking love a good wobble. You've been lurking? Oh man, you know, I couldn't tell because you never used the exclamation point lurk command that only Otaku uses. Stories we tell. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alphinaud's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. Oh yeah, that is a good new emote. I need to work on... Well, actually, you know what? I literally only have one... Well, no, I have 2 more spaces for emotes, but someday I'll get more, maybe. I don't know. How long do they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Lieutenant Lorelei. Pray, keep us informed of any developments in Carteneau.
Begone, whelp, this is no place for children. I fucking hate kids.
I'm sorry. Man, the Sultan Sworn are horrible. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this... child? Yes, Alphinaud, she's your age. If you weren't such an asshole, you might even be able to be friends. Yep, I know that I'm going to be streaming Ghost Trick with you. I was aware of that. Next 2 months, 1 hour each day. Oh, nice, cool. So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Well, child, your parents are probably dead. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? I just told you they're dead.
They're not afraid. They're probably dead. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Yes, of course. Let's go to the graveyard first. Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait over for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. I can't wait to find my parents. I'll take her to the quicksand. Maybe Momodi will know what to do. I'm so bad with children. Glad I never was one. Legion of Garleans, an Aether-starved primal, even dealing with an Asian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I feel Minfiria is too ambitious. Excuse me, I almost threw up a little bit there. We rushed hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, and without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change.
Rosa, this is Minfiria. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. It is not Ida's fault, but I will explain in detail once you arrive.
Sounds like there's a problem in the Twelveswood, and it's not Ida's fault. The Twelveswood, and it's Ida's fault, you say? Then the primal threat she spoke of has become confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go, Ruja, you know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you do arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. See this little thing that I keep on my back? It's a gun. I keep that motherfucking thing on me. I've never had to fire it before, but I respect my Second Amendment rights. Anyway, back to the toll. In we go. Everybody is still doing the same thing. Thancred, you have been flirting with that old woman for like 2 years. TwitchCon does not allow full face masks or full face paint. So instead of going to TwitchCon next year, you're going to go to Offkai. Nice. I don't think I really have any particular interest in going to, like, a streamer convention, necessarily. Because I feel like if I wanted to go to a convention to meet up with friends, I would just go to, like, a normal convention. The streamer convention feels it's just like a thinly veiled excuse to, like, network. And I don't know. I mean, like, yes, technically that seems like something you should do if you want to grow, but, like, it's so much work. I don't want to do that. Also, I don't look anything like Ruja, so, like, can't do that. And unfortunately, I don't own a red tuxedo. Yet. I should look into that, actually. I am come on behalf of the eldest seed seeker to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation. You sow? What do you sow? Seeds? And style wigs? Nice. How the fuck are you gonna get a wig to look like Sissel's hair? That feels like it's gonna be very difficult. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Ruja. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. I heard you had to talk to Alphinaud. With gusto is the answer? Like the Yu-Gi-Oh archetype? Listen, I did it with Bendy and the Ink Machine. I know how to force hair to stay in its place upwards. Nice. You really should, like... I wish Sammy was... Well, I just wish you and Sammy had more chances to interact, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, you two would get along so fucking well. You both cosplay. You're both non-binary. You're both... I don't even really know how to describe it, but you both are. You just are. Clearly, the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless, it will hear ere long. That's one of the funniest Minfilia lines there is, and it sucks that people don't remember this. Can you believe that people say this character doesn't have, like, a personality? The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. To me, my X-Men! Lord of Levin! Minfilia wishes to discuss the latest threat to arise in the Black Shroud. To me, my X-Men! I'll say it again. Thought you said lemon when I said X-Men? To me, my lemon! Is that what you thought I said? Oh, Levin. Lord of Lemon. I mean, sure, why not? Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Ramu's lemonade. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seedseer informs us the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact that need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed only to act in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if there were any foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the Touched Ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papa Limo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castramorian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Pretty much everything we can blame on Ul'dah. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. But be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Ruja, though your dealings with the Sylphs of little solace, you once succeeded in preventing the untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we need not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must first needs consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Ruja. Pray report to Commander Hulo at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able.
Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require, except, like, helping you in the fight. They can't do that shit. Elder Seedseer has asked for you by name. Pray report to Commander Hulo at the Adder's Nest in Gridania. Yep, okay. The fact that the refugees fled to Gridania as well says a lot about how they're doing right now. Because, as we will learn far later in the story, there are a lot of tensions between Alamigo and Gridania specifically. To the point where, despite the fact that Alamigo is geographically closer to Gridania than to Ul'dah, the refugees from Ul'dah, or for the refugees from Alamigo, chose to avoid Gridania completely and go to Ul'dah, which worked out probably about as well as it would have if they went to Gridania. So I don't know. Lieutenant Lorelei, your arrival has been most anticipated. This appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She's of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial, skills may be better served to our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nafika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. The Elder Seedseer wishes to speak with you ere you confront the Lord of Leven. Pray make your way to Nafika's altar and a conjurer will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Okay. Off we go. By the way, just as a couple of random updates while I'm running around, so we, in our efforts to get a head start on some relic stuff, as suggested by Nico, we have actually finished the next step. Just like 100%. We just farmed all the light in one session. It was kind of crazy that we managed to get it all done. So that makes things a little easier. And also means that the next relic stream will also probably be used for a couple of other things as well. And, yeah. Just to let you know how things are getting shuffled around. The other Scions have already arrived, madam. May I show you in? Sure. I like in. Sorry, one second. I really need to take the time to make a joke at somebody. It's very important. Hi, everybody. Sylphic Servant.
Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see a friend of Elder One.
I am most curious to see how the Elder Seedseer means to treat with Lord Ramu.
Whatever the Elder Seedseer is planning, I want to know that I'll be right there by your side. And I'm sure Y'shtola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything is mankind's fault. It is said that once Ramu passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. 'Twould be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales.
I see the Sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt then. Thancred, you look lovely with those butterfly wings coming out of your skull.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
That's us.
On behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a presence without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the land's Veorzias shiver in dread anticipation.
That was the wrong
Have
button.
care.
Cool. Well, off we go to the Lancers Guild to take a ship. Thankfully, we're not going to have to deal with voice when we go over to Little Solace today. Although I'm sure he would be interested to know what's going on. Hi. Lieutenant Lorelei, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramuh himself. An unenviable task. God, that's a fucking difficult things to do. Fuck the bumbling one. This one and the homie ones hate the bumbling one. True! I have been told that your fellow scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Okay, I'm sure they will be back very soon. Let's just wait, shall we? Yep. Hey, get the fuck out of my shot. Hey. God damn it. Never mind. Fuck this. 11, an impression. The servant lieutenant looks about, seemingly awaiting a visitor. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow scions finished their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer.
This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching, and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched One summoned Lord Ramuh.
Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind to escort this good woman to her fellow scions?
It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please come with this one.
All right, everybody. We're going to, welcome back. Everybody, I would like to have a moment of silence to mourn the loss of probably the funniest quest in all of post-A Realm Reborn history. So I'll just take a moment. Okay, that's enough. You can stop being silent now.
Wise ones have ventured deep, deep into the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones.
I'm just gonna fly, bro. I'm not walking through that shit. I'll see you later. You can walk. I'm flying.
This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramuh, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One.
So, for those unaware, originally in this quest, it was, now I'll be honest, it was kind of a filler quest. Like, it wasn't like super necessary to the story, but like it was funny, and it kind of like was a good showing for like what the Sylph's deal is if you A, didn't do the Sylph Beast Tribe quest, and B, didn't pay attention during the beginning part of the story where you dealt with the Sylphs, which is entirely possible considering the people that play this game. But essentially what it involved was you wandering through the forest here, with the Scions have been separated because the Sylphs are funny and tricksy, and the Sylphs are disguising themselves as the Scions, and you need to figure out which one is which by throwing things at them. One of the funniest things that happened is Thancred eventually comes up to you, and you not having seen him this entire time, and you're like, is this the real Thancred? And Papalimo's like, I know how to do this. Papalimo, what do you think of Minfilia's mom? And he's like, oh man, let me tell you, that's the hottest MILF there's ever been. And Papalimo's like, yep, it's Thancred. And Yashoa's like, well, if it isn't, you know, we could probably just leave the real one here and take the other one, or take the fake one, because it's good enough. And Thancred's just like, what the fuck, guys? And then we move on. And it sucks that quest isn't here anymore. Don't ask. Suffice it to say that we had something of a situation here. Unfortunately, it's been removed from patch content, so don't worry about it. Ah, there you are. It is you, isn't it? So, Thancred is Thancred, Papalimo is Papalimo, Ishtola is Ishtola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Ida, in case Walking One was wondering. Joke! I'm joking. This line is unchanged from the original, and is very funny without, or not very funny, is very stupid without context. So, it's actually you, even though I have done nothing to confirm this of the sort.
I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph-tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. Although that does imply something cute about our warrior of light and Y'shtola. Maybe we propose to her or something. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring aetheric activity in the area, and I am pleased to say that I have reached an indisputable conclusion, to wit that Ramuh was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetherite. Kamruja, the Lord of Levin awaits. Congratulations, Papalimo. You figured out the thing that literally every beast tribe does. They summon him in next to their fucking giant crystal.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of Heidelin. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan.
And also good King Mogglebog the 12th. Long may he reign.
I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
Actually, all of this conflict can be traced back to, like, literally 12 dudes. Kind of like how every bit of pollution in the world can be traced back to, like, maybe 6 or 7 billionaires just kind of sitting, like, back, like, polluting, you know, like, producing, just a shitload of pollution at all times. It's like 12 dudes whose kind of fault it is. We almost killed one of them recently.
It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges.
that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye, but there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee.
I challenge you to a best 2 out of 3 match in Duel Monsters.
Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Rameau, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Ah, he likes to watch. All right. Well, here we go. Onwards to the Stricking Tree. Hard. The Stricking Tree Hard. After forging deep into the Sylphlands, you meet with the intimidating guardian deity of the Sylphs, the Primal Rameau. But before he will consider your proposal of peace, the Lord of Levin first demands proof that you possess the strength required to repel the Empire from the Twelveswood. The thunderous entity then vanishes in a blinding flash, leaving the words of his challenging yet echoing in your ears. Enter the Primal's domain, and prepare to be measured on the scales of battle. Okay, here I go. I'm entering the fields of battle, as we speak. Yep. Classic. Yeah, I also like the Soul Fans music. Honestly, I honestly don't listen to like a lot of the in-game music super often. I usually have it off, honestly. But like, it's still pretty good. Hi, Emily. Oh, look at Emily's using the lurk command. Thanks, Emily. I'm so glad people use the commands that I made and I worked so hard on, just slaving away for hours on end making those commands. Thank goodness. Oh shit. Here we go. It's been a day. Yeah, I saw you talking about it a little bit. That's alright, Emily. Take a load off. Put those spoons to use elsewhere. Theme of Storm from the X-Men. Something that I just kind of noticed is that Ramuh actually kind of looks like a sylph in that he's got like a pair of little baby wings on his back. Isn't that cute? He's just like his kids. I'm gonna just suck everybody off real quick, you know how it is. I really ought to pop an ad load on that. Green DPS, you know it. Words are more than empty banter. Oh, also he said, thou art brave, bringer of light, but yet bravery alone should not convince me of thy worth. That was another thing that he said, I forgot about that part. Oh, Jesus. That guy's dead. My thing in the wrong way there. I'm definitely also gonna need to... Oh, I'm getting chaotic struck. Surely Judgment Bolt will shock me out of this, right? God fucking damn it. This battle shall decide thy fate. Canst thou weather mine awakened ire, and also I pronounce thy sentence by the radiance of the gods of El, be judged, yada yada. You know, they don't think it is, be like it is, but it do. I'm gonna pick up some orbs real quick. There we go. Thy judgment is nigh. To me, mine arbiters. To me, my X-Men. Welcome to die! Welcome to my X-Men! X-Men? I don't know why I've been so obsessed with saying to me my X-Men recently. There's just something funny about it. It's probably because I've been playing Marvel's Midnight Suns and that has more X-Men content in it than like any previous Marvel game has had in years. By that I mean it has like 3 X-Men characters in it. You're an X-Man? Good to hear. Art thou truly of man? Thy strength exceeds mine expectations. We did it. Wait. Also, fun fact, by the way, now that we're on the topic of being X-Men, so in Skullgirls, the fighting game, one of the main plot points in it is that there's this artifact called, like, the Skull Heart that, like, grants the wishes of women specifically. Women are the only people that can use it. And according to the people who made Skullgirls, all you need to do to be able to make a wish on the Skull Heart is to identify as a woman. Isn't that great? Diversity win. The omnipotent wish-granting monkey's paw and evil-corrupting artifact, the Skull Heart, understands trans people.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Cool, can I be cursed after like a year of making my wish? Yeah, I would say like a year or more. Then you'd start transforming into a giant horrible monster. I think that sounds reasonable.
Thou
Get your
hast
rocks off to that one,
slain the Lord
Ariane?
of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
My favorite character in Skullgirls is Peacock. Peacock is a really cool character. My favorite character is probably... Beowulf. Because I think he's funny, and he has nothing to do with the main story of Skullgirls. However, if you ask me to pick a favorite girl, Valentine. Yeah, his story is pretty funny. Whew, I'm back. Lieutenant Lorelei, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? We had to kick his ass. Unsurprisingly. He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. Peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest's champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Lieutenant Lorelei. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. What little gods are made of. The Serpent Lieutenant is ready to send you on your way. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at the Nothica's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Lieutenant Lorelei. Okay, it's the same line. Just checking. You can never be too sure. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Burping. Well, we're making good progress. You know, we might even probably finish before, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 hour mark. That'll be crazy. That's it. What a nice place this is. When it's not bogged down by horrible racism. Welcome back, Honored Scion. We who know of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. Stola? It would seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. I fancy my presence was more help than a hindrance than during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my off days. Ah, the hero of the hour! Let us not keep the Elder Seedseer waiting. You should have seen Maxio when we got back to Little Solus. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papa Limo's hand off.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Carteneau, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Twould seem that, okay, that's the same line. That's the same line. That's the come on, you guys. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Ruja? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal Sudden Challenge. And it seems that Urianger, too, was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Ruja? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? I'm sure that Minfilia will be eager to hear more of your adventures. Let us return to the Rising Stones and put our thoughts in order. Okay. Maybe I will. Ooh, everybody's changed. Excellent. Duty calls. Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. Take care, Ruja. I look forward to hearing about all your adventures when you return. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Doman cuisine. Hey, Miss Ruja, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? A little bit. Like the beard, kind of, right? Yeah. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to less glamorous duties. Speaking with Master Coltonet has opened my eyes to a great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archon's away, Horiboldo will keep the little ones safe. Miss Ruja, is it true you're going adventuring again? I'm so jealous. I don't know why everybody is British, even the Japanese people. But it's the only accent that I can do, like, constantly. Children are quick to take to Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. It's okay, man. Adapting is hard. Welcome back, Ruja. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Avengers, assemble! See, I did a different one that time.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time,
Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of
Y'shtola.
Taken at the
That's not a funny joke. I'm too white to say shit like that. I'm too white
Unlike the primal,
and straight
the
to say shit
Sahagin
like that.
was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end.
Get fucked, loser.
When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus,
Yummy in my tummy!
Primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
How did you get into my mind palace, Thancred?
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
How did you get into my mind palace? Who keeps letting you fucking people in here?
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The way you phrase that, Otaku, or at least the way that the sentences happened, makes me think that you use too much butter in White Knight Chronicles. The Lord of... Wait, sorry. I know who this character is. The Lord of Levin is returned to the ether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whorl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet she prospers at great cost to her mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. These chairs suck, by the way. Like, it's just floor. Check out this neat rock we've got. Ain't that shit rad? Pretty sure this is still part of the same thing. Minfilia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. Now that the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest, there is something I would show you, Ruja. Look at this piece of paper. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, and acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. Ain't that shit poppin'? It mentions, in particular, the names of the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Moggle Mog the 12th, long may he reign, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. You know, it's kind of fucked up that the Ascians didn't mention Good King Moggle Mog in their little thing there where they were talking about all the elements. They forgot to mention the element of Moogles. Needless to say, there's only one among our number to have faced them all. Me. And through these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I, too, must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Ruja, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the beastmen who wish not of conflict, who now call you friend. Of Alize, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. Of this text bubble, which would not have appeared had you not done, the Bahamut quest. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Giving our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Sorry, my voice was a little lower there. I don't know what happened. Alphinaud, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are some yet rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report that such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed, my paramilitary organization. I have a message you from Ella. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed, much to my surprise. I really, truly, genuinely thought those motherfuckers were dead as hell, but apparently they were actually just alive. Crazy! She wished to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphinaud, am I to understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Ruja, you have been away for Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Sure. Kids are not nearly as scary as adults for Ruja. She'll beat the shit out of a kid. No problem. But adults, those are a little scarier. I realize you must be quite tired from your travails, but I would be most appreciated if you could find a moment to speak to young Yozan. He has been through much in his own right, I am sure. Excuse me, yawning. Alphinaud?
After we parted in Ul'dah, I paid a visit to the refugees. Though a fundamental solution remains far off, I believe that at the very least there should be no armed uprisings in the near future. I am given to understand that you resolved the matter of Ramu. I will ask Minfilia for a full report when next we speak. You have done well, Ruja. You are dismissed. Hi guys, what are you doing? The storm has passed and a moment's quietude is ours. Ooh, quietude, there's a good word. Tataru is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stew anew on the horizon. With the Doman younglings dashing hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Ida, it's not as if I knew much peace to begin with. That is the very definition of a disaster lesbian, let me tell you. I do not know where we would be without Higiri. The girl has worked tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Doman women are so diligent? I told Flamine all about our adventures in the Sylphlands, fake Thancred and all. You won't tell the real Thancred, will you? Don't worry, I don't know what you're talking about, because that quest was removed from the game. Dawade? Despite all the hardships they have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. We older ones would do well to follow their example. Ah, Ruja, care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. They're doing it. Hori? Repetition and routine begets skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Domans regain their strength of will. Whose will? Many of my countrymen have found work as frontier hands, helping to transport supplies and continue the expansion of Revenant's Toll. I have been tasked with keeping the equipment here in good repair. It is not particularly glamorous work, but I would help in whatever way I can. 137, 138, 130... Oh, hello there! I've been charged with keeping inventory. Flamine tells me it's a vitally important... Oh, dear, I seem to have lost count. Never is a woman more lovely when she's hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall in the face of the frozen winds. Thancred, get a life. You were just flirting with Flamine. Go chase some MILF tail. Leave the lady to her work. Yozan's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for a Koharu when she's mad. I think she's more of a barbarian. I think of myself as a bit more of a cleric. We're thinking of starting a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. If I were as big as a mountain, as strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I would like fighting more. Are you taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. That game of hide and seek in Vesper Bay was the most fun I've had in forever. Look, it's Miss Ruja. She's back from her adventures. Or from adventures. While you were off fighting primals, and that... We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman's Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Ruja? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coultonid, did you know that Miss Ruja is back? I did. I talked with her like 20 seconds ago. So it would seem. Welcome home, Ruja. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hori Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coultonid. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. Can you believe that people maybe have not actually talked to Hori Boulder before this moment? Fucked up. Ah, I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Miss Ruja if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you.
I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Ruja? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I would say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Ha ha ha! Well, maybe I am. But what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Ruja? Would you consent to spar with me? Consent is important, after all. I wish the dialogue acted like you knew him somewhat to get people who didn't read to actually read. Unfortunately, they're never going to do that because they just won't. Huzzah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Hozan, get the guns. Do try not to disappoint then, Have faith, Colton, and I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Oh, Tataru, I didn't see you there. You're so short. Nothing warms me inside quite like Higiri's tea. Truly, it is salve for the body and soul. Oh, everybody's moved again. God damn it. Are you the same? Just as some children possess wisdom beyond their years, some adults are little more than children writ large. Remember this, and it should serve you a measure of frustration in your dealings with those around you. I dare say I heard you talking a malm away. Ida and Thancred dashed out not moments ago. Will they ever start acting their age? Higiri has told me about a doman tea with a most remarkable fragrance, what I would not give to taste it for myself. So turn we to heroes of conscience unstained, may all stop at naught till what's lost is regained. Oh, hello again. Flamine has been teaching me some Eorzean ballads. Though I hail from a faraway land, there is something about music that truly transcends borders. Have you ever heard, what is it called? Triumph Trap Beat Remix? I'm really getting into beatboxing recently. Where did everyone run off to all of a sudden? It's not that I mind so much. The quiet is most conductive to focusing on my tasks. I don't want to be called sus for not finishing my tasks. Alright, out we go. Let's go fight someone. For fun and glory. Whee! Man, I forget how dark my screen gets when the sun is blasting directly into my eyes. I can literally see better on the stream view instead. Since becoming a scion, I have had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds, but I must confess then that my excitement rivals that of the children's at the prospect of seeing you in action firsthand. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. We had a master of lessons back in Doma, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way is better, but I think I like them both. As we left the Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. I hope we haven't made him cross. Miss Ruja is here. Let the battle begin. Actually, hang on. I want to run around in town really quick and see if Thancred and Ida are actually out here. Let's see. No. Damn, doesn't look like it. Shit sucko. Anyway, let's go fight the big guy. I forget how many quests are left in this particular patch. I feel like there should be more, because we... 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Ruja. I trust you are ready to begin? Yep, let's do it. Let's kill. Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? This is Ruja you face. She's like a coward or whatever. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Ruja to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear that the contest will end too swiftly, I will add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Oh, there they are. I'm just like Chris Redfield fighting boulders. It's true. Ida? What? Who are all these people? You mean Thancred? That's Thancred. This is Thancred. When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Rouge's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You've best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard! Day and night I've honed my skills. Now comes the time to test them. This should be interesting. No holding back now, Scions! Take him! He's open! I did it. Ugh, such power! The tails barely do you justice! Show him how hoary my boulders are? What, do you want me to take my top off? I don't think I can do that mid-combat. Oh no, I can. Never mind. I gotta... Oh god. Uh-oh. The joke was too strong. Ah, shit. The joke was too funny. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. The children have the right of it. 'Tis time I join the fray. On your feet, Hoary. Damn, he's got old Sword Oath. Oh no, he looks hurt. This Rouge is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Rah! Oh god, he put Iron Will on. I must admit defeat. 'Twas an honor and a privilege. Never have I faced such strength, but the lesson must continue. 'Tis your example I follow. Surrender not to implacable foes. Oh, holy shit, he hallowed grounded. He's literally a paladin. This man is literally a level 50 paladin. Anyway, he's dead. I didn't even have to put my shirt back on. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible! She beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Ruja. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. You know, I think I actually... Is that character who I think it is? I think it is, actually. Huh. I feel like that has to have been added later. But I don't know. Impressive as always, Ruja. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. You'll notice that I am, as a respectful gentleman, not staring at your bare chest right now. Keep eye contact. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardians of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea, I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. Shirt in full view. 'Twas you who convinced me of the salvation of Eorzea was possible. And you did it with your shirt on. You should put your shirt back on. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. Those wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants from charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become mine own. That's great, buddy. You figured it out after the fact. I, too, will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. I must establish outer heaven. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. Why is Ruja shirtless? I had to step away for a second. Kent told me to show them how hoary my boulders are, and I interpreted that as I should take my shirt off. And then as I tried to put my shirt back on in the middle of the fight, I realized I couldn't, so now my shirt is off. There we go. Everything is fixed. Alphinaud was very gentlemanly. He didn't stare at my tits at all. Or maybe he just doesn't care. I'm 8. He's not actually 8. He's older than that, but I think it's funny to say that he's 8. Oh, thank God. Everybody's dialogue will have changed yet again. Our domain farming methods have been adopted here on the frontier. 'Tis too early yet to know if they will prove to be effective. Hey, everybody. I fear Ida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment, and your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters. Ruja needs it to inexplicably have one of those Yakuza back tattoos, except it's like Trogdor. True. I need fan art of that stat. I can't wait for Alphinaud to start his new company. I love making new friends. I wish Ida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now. Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own. No, this won't do at all, and then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Ruja. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. "'Tis not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you all succeed in your monumental tasks. This place has become as a hive, and its bees to flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest." My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland, but thanks to your courage and generosity, I see their inner flames once more flicker back to life. I, too, have felt my strength of will make a gradual return. I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seems that sparring match well served its purpose. Why, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve upon my technique. Rouja, I must again thank you for agreeing to our bout. And I must thank the gods 'twas not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my swordplay. Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Miss Rouja. Just you wait. One day I'll be good enough to knock you from the top of your mountain. I look forward to that, kid. We need to decide who in our Adventures Guild will do what. I'm fairly certain Yozan will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of the action. Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten, but he said he'd return straight to his training. I don't think he likes to lose. I like the way Master Colton fought. No swords or fists. I wonder if I studied hard, I would be able to cast spells like that too. You know, that's a good question, actually. I'm not really sure how it works in this reality, but, like, can anybody learn to cast magic, or do you have to be, like, born with an innate ability to do it? Because obviously you could have that taken away. I assume that just the ability to manipulate ether, which is something that everybody except Garleans have access to, means that basically anybody can eventually learn to do magic, but I don't know. The primal threat presently subsided, it is now perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphinaud has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray lend him what aid you can. Thank you for coming, Rouja. The word shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Oh good, materia. I need that for my relic. Recruiting the realm, Alphinaud wishes to request your assistance for his new endeavor. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the Seventh Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land, and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification was draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale of what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself has witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to even what we can achieve. I apologize if you can't hear me very well, as I'm walking further and further away from where I'm talking to you. I don't know if that actually came through as well as of me trying to do what I was supposed to do, but I don't have a fader, so it's the best I can do. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, it is necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Good news, it did pick up. Great. Is there bad news? Thank you. 'Tis reassuring to know that the bringer of light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Laminsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Okay. Okay, that's the same thing. Let's go to Limsa Laminsa. Let's go to Pirate Town. Hello, place where Blue Mage starts. We'll get to you eventually. I have a new plan for that. Bad news, we're trusting a little brat to make a personal army. Yep, it's true. Ah, there you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofiswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing permissary boundaries and signing the parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential matters, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. I needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. There's tons of fucking role players that hang out in this area, you know. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Sure. Oh man, okay, we're gonna start down here where there's no Ethernet teleportation and move from there. I might as well use this time to remind everybody that, once again, the remake of Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, ! Ghost Trick, is coming out in just 8 days. Or, like, 7 days. It's a little unclear. I'm pretty sure it's 8 days, but I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, it's $30. Buy it. I've already technically bought it for other people already. Friday next week. Yeah. Approximately 8 days. Yeah, it says 29th on Steam for whatever reason. I think that's like just like midnight on the 29th. But I don't know. Oh, hey, it's real. Hey, buddy. Well, if it ain't Ruja, I'd not forget a venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the sword into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Rio, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes, 3 Whistles at Bronze Lake? Ah, it ain't often I drag my arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? Looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work? Ha! Sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lass, count me in. The companies may have gone, the heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. Buy it for as many people as I did Saga Frontier Remastered, which is so many that my bank texted me to see what's up. Well, if I have my way, anybody who doesn't have Ghost Trick on, who I know doesn't have Ghost Trick at all, come Christmas time, is getting it. So, if you want something else for your Christmas present from me that you have no choice but to accept, buy Ghost Trick ahead of time, and then I will get you something else instead. You have approximately 6 months to prepare. Good luck. Oh, hey, Betty, how you doing? Why are you wasting words on the poor sod you bested? You know your path, and there ain't naught to stop you from walking it. It's a new line now that we've completed the armor quest line. Oh, yeah, we'll just ask Hananza. That'll go well. Do you guys have anything new to say? Ruja, how fare your efforts at the Forge? I trust your growing fame hasn't convinced you to neglect your skills. We will all need the abundant inspiration your impeccable armorcraft provides. Speaking of which, I must needs return to my latest creation, just as soon as I find my pliers. Good luck. A precursor to the United Eorzean Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldeacon Femeles keep me close to the Forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. It's very nice of you. Let's see, where off to next? Ah, yes! The missing member. What a great fucking idea this is. Huh? Who the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvelian's door.
Do I need to fetch me Hook? I told you, go bother Cavalion with your talk of do-goodin'.
Sure. And, in fact, we do! Alright, I think... Yeah, we've got a few more quests to go, but then I'll probably end it no matter where we are in the time, because I'm hungry, and it's hot, and, that's about it. Oh boy, we really are ambitious. We're going for fucking Rainer, of all people? Christ. I don't know about that one, Chief. Master Alphinaud's new organization. Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret, however, I must decline your invitation. As a commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. Oh wait, I could probably talk to him again to get some additional stuff. Anything? I wish you well in your endeavors, but the Yellow Jackets and the defense of Limsa Lominsa's people must remain my sole priority. Probably wise. Hiya! An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity? I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens know well that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Ouch, my knee. Sorry about that. Nope, okay. Let's go talk to Alphinaud and tell him that we got one dude. I'm sure he will be very pleased. To be fair, Ruja has a charisma of like 5. So... That reminds me, I should try and make Ruja as a D&D character. Very low charisma and strength. Very high intelligence and wisdom. 5 dexterity, 5 strength, maybe some constitution, 5 charisma, and then like 20 everything else. Ruja, your recruiting went well, I trust? I am curious to see how my proposal was retrieved by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. Ah, a member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast of the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope my visit with the Elder Seatseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. Nope, that's not the right one. Gridania. There we go. You know, it would make more sense to go to Ul'dah and then go to Gridania, because Gridania is, like, closer to Mordona. But, I mean, whatever. Stop playing music. Stop it. My audience with the Elder Seatseer is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous with the airship ticket counter as before. Well, let's start... Here, we'll do a little loop. We'll start with the Lancers Guild. I really do not feel like petitioning the Wood Whalers is going to work, guys. I just don't. It is not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise. But its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. That's very fair, ma'am. While I find sympathy with your cause, I must confess to some confusion as to this company's place in the grand scheme of things. For the moment, I prefer to devote my energies to the clear-cut responsibilities of the Whalers. Yeah, that's a totally reasonable reason to decline joining this organization. Our organization's goal is to make the world a better place. That's great, man. But what do you guys do? I love idealism as much as the next guy, but like, what do you guys do? Hey, old man. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. I must respectfully refuse your invitation. Your proposal promises new beginnings, but I am shackled to the sins of the past. By my own oath I am made prisoner, my chains forged of guilt and unforgivable cowardice. That's cool, man. It'll be fine. Oh, hey, it's Alien and Isildur. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You'll have to tie me to my bed if you think to prevent me from... Ow! Well, mayhap I will rest for just a short while. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, Ruja, isn't it? It has been some time since our paths crossed outside of Copperbell Mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look at how far you've come. Mother Mion tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring life career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. If you would have me, I would gladly join your new company. I shall make for Revenant's Toll once I've escorted my dear friend back home. You mean your grandpa? I mean, I guess you can refer to him as your friend, but like... Also, have we got any new shit? We got 11 of these. Can I wear this? I can. Can I wear the fat chocobo head? Thank fucking God. Can you imagine if Vieira weren't allowed to wear that stupid hat? But we can't wear the goblin hat, because life is pain. Let's see. Ooh, I can get this. That's important. I can't get that, though. I need one more achievement point. Magitech Deathclaw identification key. A thin rectangular piece of what appears to be cermet. Placing it near your Magitech Deathclaw will magically bring the machine to life. Magitech Deathclaw. Ancient Allegan weaponry known to be an iron claw is believed to be the inspiration for this deadly example of Imperial ingenuity. While most of the Deathclaws deployed in battle are used for logistical purposes, this particular model has been customized by stationary units for enemy capture. Only so many of us find Machina pretty, my dear, says Mita, who is a character we have not met and will not meet for a very fucking long time. I guess that item was added in Heavensward, then. I love learning. Speaking of people we know, it's Laurentius. Hey! Hey, buddy, let me over the fence! Oh, gods, can it really be you?
By what fickle fortune it must be the first face I see upon my release be yours. Huh? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Busteron's. Yes, I remember you. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if the jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. Less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matter stands, the Wood Whalers will have naught more to do with me. This may just be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I am a changed man. Good. I'm glad we're giving him a second chance. He deserves it. He had a shit deal. What news, Aruja? For my part, the elder seeds here was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Welcome back, Otaku. Oh shit, I should have gone to the Gold Saucer so I didn't have to pay 120 gil. All right. Ul'dah, the gilded city, where one's fortunes defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg provides as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending to the lower levels before beginning your recruitment effort? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Aruja. I suggest you maybe just throw yourself off the balcony. That's probably the fastest way to get down there. Hiya! Ow! Wilred! Buddy! Wait, you're that lady who came to Little Alamigo, looking for that masked devil. And you're here to read a random Transformers fact as requested by Piop. Here I go. Hang on. There we go. Derek J. Wyatt, rest in peace, producer for both Transformers Animated and Ben 10 Omniverse, once produced a drawing that shows what Benjamin Tennyson would look like if he could turn into a Cybertronian form, dubbed Decimus Prime, which is rad as fuck, and it's unfortunate that that never got to happen. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Anyway, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions. And you say it'll take me to all corners of the realm? It sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Good to hear, kiddo. I like ya. Yes, we are recruiting for Alphinaud's Diamond Dogs.
Oh, okay. Hi, Orson. Why are you here? Who's the titular diamond dog, though? The carbuncle. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I'm Orson, of the Church of Saint Adama Ladama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on Drybone's less fortunate. Most upsetting business. Are you here with your incredibly attractive companion? Thancred, wasn't it? Sister Orson, didn't you take vows? I don't actually know if you're a nun or not, but whatever. Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds like a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. I could never abandon the children, or my work at the Lich Yard. I will, however, pray for your success. Thanks. Now, who could we possibly go in here? Saint Adama Ladama probably isn't a vow of chastity thing. Oh. I was thinking of, have you guys ever seen that comic panel of, like, a nun flirting with Thor in Marvel Comics? It's so funny. Let me see if I can find it. Son of a bitch, this is a fucking WebP file. If I ever find the person who created the WebP file format, I will kill them. I promise you. Like, it's just the worst fucking created thing of all time. Now, how can I do this? What if I do this? Yeah, there we go. Cheating! There it is. This is such a funny moment. I'll just have this over here in the corner while we work. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new-fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I am afraid you are wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. I was not asking you on a date, ma'am. Although I appreciate that you are technically okay with that. Happy Pride. Oh, you can't see Landibert from behind my funny Thor image. Let's get rid of that. Fuck it, get out of here. Aye, you'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Damn, that dude standing in front of a door was glaring pretty harshly at me. I mean, this conniving ne'er-do-well? I don't remember if we talked to him, but let's talk to him again just to be sure. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Family ain't interested unless you got a business proposal, pal. Got it? Good, now get the hells out of here.
I think that's the mob, guys. I ain't fucking with the mob. Company that looks to cure the ills of this entire realm. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. I wonder if we'll ever talk with him again? I doubt it. I don't think that doesn't seem likely. Seems like a one and done kind of character, you know what I mean? fared you, Ruja? What hidden gems did the street of Uldar offer up to your unrelenting gaze? I found one guy. A single Alamegan youth? Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds, especially when coming from an 8-year-old. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Ruja. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. Uniforms! You are concerned by the Syndicate's involvement? As was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. This organization was built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. Tut is singing loudly the song of his people, but he can't have anything I made outside of the rice. Oh no, please give him, if there's nothing he can have, give him a little smooch for me. Thank you. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. You can pay for your own trip back.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alphinaud's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Uldar is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'Dan law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Aww.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Oh, wait a minute, never fucking mind. They didn't teleport me back to the Rising Stones at all. This game sucks. What was the point of showing that? God damn it. I am back. Okay, it's the same line. Hey, buddy. And it's not a journey I soon wish to repeat, and I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Ruja. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Heretical harassment. Minfilia appears eager to welcome you back to Revenant's Toll. Greetings, Ruja. Alphinaud tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tataru is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaffborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? My grandfather formed the Circle of Knowing. I think... in the accumulation of knowledge, Eorzea might be saved from disaster foretold. A band of champions brought together by a common goal to lead our realm to a better tomorrow. Though our means may differ, I would like to believe I do him proud in undertaking this new endeavor. Yo, what's up, Slaff? What's up, Slaffster? Slaffticon? I don't know. What can I do for you, Ruja? I thought you have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. My accent has changed yet again. Ah, I barely noticed your recruits arrived. It was barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have had to pass through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, it is more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that this means less work for you in the long run.
Slathborn, the shipment, we couldn't... Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort, but just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us.
It is not to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take a rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, this is more like to be a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Don't you fucking look at me, I ain't going back there. Whence did these supplies originate?
House Fortomp. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper.
Understood. I shall see that they are apprised of this development. Uruja, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortomp? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I also realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Alright. Thank you for understanding. I am certain Lord Haurchefant will be glad of your assistance. You doing alright?
Never been so completely failed in a task, but those heretics, they fell upon us like wintry demons.
Classic. Alright, I'm not flying all across this entire thing. I'm just gonna fucking teleport. Hey, buddy. Been a while.
Well, well, if it isn't my fine friend, Rouge Lorelei. Would you care for a plate of roast carcool? Some mulled wine? No? Ah, I see you've not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. When the cold sets in, Lord Haurchefant awaits the confirmation for the reason for your visit to Camp Dragonhead.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest.
Oh, thank God, we only have one fucking quest left. I just looked it up.
They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurth's soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortomp does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Hallone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Oh boy. One of my favorite things that isn't in WoW that's in WoW that isn't in this game is being able to fly inside buildings.
Ruja, welcome, welcome. You'll be pleased to know that the repairs to the stone vigil proceed apace. We shall rebuild sure and strong that the Dravanians might batter themselves senseless against our shield to the west. I would venture, however, that matters of masonry are not what brought you to Whitebrim. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, you do seem but destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed been grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what matter of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small details that could aid you in your task. Will you speak with the merchant in our infirmary? The account of his unpleasant experience may aid you in chasing down your quarry. Maybe. I guess we'll find out. Next time on, right now. God, I need to get some fucking blackout curtains, man. This sun in my eyes is insufferable. Hey, buddy. Tell me what happened. Why, yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help you catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to me to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling the goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. 'Tis likely they've taken my cargo to Snowcloak. Hardly the most hospitable of places at the best of times. No, I believe I'll cut my losses rather than risk meeting with those bloodless fiends again. Alright, well, off to the funny Snowcloak place. The place with all the snow. And and cloaks.
Snow crunches under the treasure brute. Surrender the crystals, your end is calm. Calm?
The cold salves my pain.
No, it doesn't. My life belongs to the lady. I also respect women. Hey guys, what are you doing over here? Gah! Draw your weapon, foul! Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You come seeking heretics. Then we share a common purpose. We were out on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone. Vanished like icy wraiths. That was a great cutscene.
You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff. Could it be that Iceheart herself has come to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Some hidden escape tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twould best we were to return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillamont. We cannot risk blindly into an ambush, and Lord Drillamont must be informed before we proceed any further. Hi, I'm back! Ruja, it appears I owe you my thank once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found near Snowcloak were some of my finest, but they should be bested so handily. I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may very well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Haurchefant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Return to Camp Dragonhead and report all you have learned to Lord Haurchefant. He must know of Snowcloak's secrets.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretic's hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma.
Warm for someone's form is probably the funniest way of putting that ever. Thank you so much for introducing that to my lexicon, Otaku.
As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Pray, tell the frontier hands not to fret over stolen supplies. 'Tis but a pittance compared to the rewards we shall reap for having a solid stronghold in Mordona.
Maybe. Slaftborn, come into existence, please. Thank you.
Ruja, 'tis good to see you return to the toll. How fares you in the frozen wastes of Korthos? House Fortemps is to send a second sheep hunt. I must send thanks to Lord Harchefont for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract even greater numbers of those who wish to do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinaud's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats.
Brave new companions. It's the final quest.
Slaftborn has news on the progress of the inaugural ceremony. While you were away in Korthos, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed. Although Tataru does seem yet somewhat flustered. I have taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand?
Hey, Tataru. How's it going? Yeah, okay, it's the same.
The parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, Ruja, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You'll want to report directly back to Alphinaud if you don't want to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Alright, cool, out we go. Oh wow, we have lots of people to give it to. 8 of them even. Yu Yu Hase.
Those who believe the company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. Giving of oneself as 'tis an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause.
Ultramarine uniform, a deep blue uniform crafted specifically for Alphinaud's new trial organization.
These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Huh? I began as a humble Aetherite guard, yet as you've witnessed I stand poised to join the rise of a glorious new order. Whereas before my pockets were empty, now they shall bulge with coin.
think you kind of missed the point, buddy, but hey, whatever. They do all kind of be looking out. Thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Here, put the shirt on. Ah, our new uniforms. I am reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Nope, I fail to see what so engages their attention. You know, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say it's probably the Crystal Tower. We'll get to you. Oh, here's Alianne. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Do the others have their uniforms already? I should really be on my way before the ceremony begins. I will make you proud, Isildur. There's Riol up there. Hello there, lass. Looking for me, was you? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Here's hoping I don't run across any of my old mates wearing this outfit. I'll have their laughter ringing in my ears for days. It does look kind of silly, doesn't it? Hey, Wilred. Little Halamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. 'Tis not that I enjoy bearing my skin, you understand. Fanland was simply very hot. Ugh, never mind. Who do we got over here? Ifimi. Ruja Lorelei! Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. Put your uniform on. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. I have followed the deeds of the Scions with the greatest awe and admiration. To fight at your side has long been a dream that I can scarce believe is coming true. Hold on just a moment, folks. I need to go take a piss, and I also need to go crank that soldier boy. And by that I mean I need to go put my... And by that I mean I gotta crank up my stove. I'm back. I've cranked my hog. I mean, my soldier boy. I mean, my stove. The scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hearty defender of Limsa Lominsa. Yet in truth I stand for the betterment of the realm, and thought this new company was a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Forgive me for shedding the red, Admiral, but I must devote my efforts to the greatest good. And finally, hello, sir. I don't believe we've met. I am Ilbert, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. I was barely more than a refugee myself for a time, and I know what it is to be without hope. I shall do my utmost to see this company succeed. Good to hear it, sir. Let's get inside, watch this cutscene, and hopefully be done with this for fucking today. My voice hurts. Every time I do this without a guest, I regret it. But it's fine. Yes, Ruja? Ah, Tataru mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is a small core of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it should be known across the breadth of Eorzea. I shall call it the Diamond Dogs! The moment of truth draws near, Ruja. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one.
Looks like we've got a true Diamond Dog on our hands.
Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphinaud. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See to that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope the shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day.
Who's this old bitch? Parasite in chief with his idiot hat. Got him. What are they doing? You just nothing? Alright guys, whatever. Eorzea successfully fucking defended, losers. We did it. Let's go check in with everybody outside to see if there's anybody cool before we sign off for the day and I can go eat food. Oh god, there's so many fucking people to talk to. Okay, here we go. The Crystal Braves, the Diamond Dogs. 'Tis a most fitting name for a company of champions summoned together by the Mother Diamond, would you not agree? The blue of the uniform represents the crystal's light, pure and unadulterated, a beacon of hope. The crystal sword is a sign of those who would stand strong in the face of danger. Until the day that my Diamond Dogs are a guiding light for all of Eorzea, I will not give up the fight. Oh gods, oh gods. Thought I was finished with the roster, but I missed a name and had to start all over, as if I didn't have enough work to do already. I am studying Eorzea military drills in the hopes that I might better understand this new organization. You do that, buddy. For the freedom of all! For the freedom of all! For the freedom of all! The first few times I said it, I must confess to feeling some embarrassment, but it's starting to grow on me. In which elf blew everybody. True. You've brought in quite a few new recruits, haven't you? Your reputation exists far beyond Little Alamigo, it would seem, and deservedly so.
Why, meeting you has given me something to strive for. Remember the name of Wilred. I shall hone both body and mind to do you and my fellow braves proud. This uniform rather suits me, would you not say? Or perhaps it is I that suits it. After all my transgressions, I am grateful indeed for this chance to start anew. Boscaran, Laurentius shall do you proud. The formation of the Crystal Braves has lifted everyone's spirits. My hopes are as high for as the next man, but will not know what this company is truly made of till we face our first mission. The greater our successes, the more our name will grow. The more our name grows, the greater the profits to be had. I can scarcely contain my anticipation for our first mission. Boy, that voice is going to be horrible to do in the future. 'Tis always inspiring to speak with a person of vision. If there's aught I might do in service of the new company, you know where to find me. Come to mention it, the younglings seem to have run off somewhere. I do hope they're not up to any mischief. Alphinaud's words were most heart-stirring, would you not agree? Truth be told, I worry what I can offer to such a lofty organization, but I will do all in my power to make my fellow braves proud. Anyone with a pair of eyes can see that Thancred is thoroughly besmitten with Higiri. Then again, subtlety has never been one of his strengths. Urianger has asked me to watch over the Doman women, that they do not come to any more suffering than they have already endured. Damn. Is there aught I might do to serve you? I stand ever at the ready, for the freedom of all. Sparring bouts raise to raise awareness of the Crystal Braves? Intriguing, though I cannot help but feel there are more pressing tasks at hand. Perhaps Tataru requires aid in compiling the company roster. Papa Limo refuses to spar with me. He says he has more important matters to attend to, but I think he's just afraid to lose. Ever since Higiri started preparing our meals, I swear I've never felt better. They say Doman cuisine is highly nourishing, but I'd sooner attribute it to the loving care she puts into her culinary creations. They say the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and I'm not one to disagree. Actually, the fastest way to a man's stomach, to a man's heart, is right through his chest. Preferably with something sharp. Mr. Thancred has taken quite a fancy to Doman cuisine. Several times a day he tells me that one of my dishes is the best he's ever tasted. His praise is most heartening, though I cannot help but feel he has a want for exaggeration. Definitely. Nice one. Every time I speak to Riol, I realize how much there is I do not understand about the kobolds. I am fortunate indeed to count a former member of the Company of Heroes as friend and confidant. Fastest way to his heart is between the second and third rib, I think? Yeah, that sounds about right. Seeing this last sure brings back memories. I was just sharing a couple of juicy secrets with her. Ooh. Goes on? I hear a new company has been formed. I would be of service in whatever humble way I can. Children, what are you doing back here? The Crystal Braves. Why, just saying the name makes me feel strong. I've been thinking of changing the name of our guild to the Doman Braves. How does that sound to you, Miss Ruja? I think the Doman Adventurers Guild is better. We hereby name Yozan Commander of the Doman Braves. Our Doman Adventurers Guild could use a new name. Say, do you have any ideas? No. For the freedom of all. 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 It doesn't sound the same when I say it. That's okay, kid. You're still learning the language. The fact that you've learned this much so far is incredible already. Anyway, we're going to end it today for here. Wow, I phrased that so fucking badly. It's time for me to kill my hunger by eating. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching me again today. I don't. You guys really shouldn't let me keep getting away with this, honestly. But regardless, yeah, thanks for coming. Next stream is going to be probably a Mega Man stream, maybe sometime this Saturday, I don't know. However, I will say, Kent, if you're still here, I don't know if you are or not, buddy, you're up next, my friend. Next couple of things we're going to be tackling in 14 is Monk. And a couple of other significantly less important jobs. But yeah, I will see you guys then.